Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia. I post new tutorials every Thursday and sometimes I manage to get one in on the weekend. So this week I'm going to kind of jump back a little bit. I try to mix up, videos for beginners and more advanced tumbler makers. And so in this video, I'm going to focus on working with chunky glitter. I don't know about you, but when I first started working with chunky glitter, I was super intimidated. It is, you see this absolutely gorgeous glitter and you look at it and you're like, oh, I totally want to, put this on a cup. And then you go to put it on a cup and you find that like it falls off and you have all these issues with coverage and the glitter sticking up. And so it could be, it could be really difficult to work with. So I want to focus on applying chunky glitter to a cup today and try to just give you some tips and tricks. And that is it for this intro, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so my cup has been sanded and prepped in its normal manner. I spray painted it with a lime green color, and I am using a 16-ounce hug style by Stainless Steel Depot. And these are, I wanted to go with like this lime green, and I have a couple of different colors here, and I was like kind of matching them up. You want to spray paint or prep your cup in a similar color to the color glitters that you're using. So in this case, I'm going with Mojito, which is in the lime green family. And so that's the spray paint. And so I found over, the years of doing tumblers that really when you're working with chunky glitter, if you want excellent coverage, I find that putting a layer of the matching fine glitter underneath is going to give you the best coverage. Also, I just want to say that I do like applying my glitter using the epoxy method. You do not have to do it this way. You can use Mod Podge, you can use Tack It, you can use any other, tacky glue to apply it. It's up to you how you want to apply it, but I prefer to use a fast set epoxy for my first layer. And so that's what I'm doing here. And you mix up a very small amount and you're only going to use about 2.5 to 5 milliliters. It shouldn't be too slick on there. You should, have had to work it a little bit to get it on here because this is your glue and you don't want it to be, if you have too much epoxy on there, it's going to soak up your glitter and you don't want to do that. You want your glitter to sit on top and show all that shimmer. So the color I wound up choosing was this salted lime, and I don't have a whole lot of it, and I was worried I wasn't going to get enough coverage, so I kept a couple of the other colors. Excuse me, sorry, I'm still getting over a cold and I'm still having some throat issues. So I kept the glow in the dark, what is the name? The name escapes me, and I'm gonna, after I'm done this, I will post it. And so in case I ran out, but I was, I lucked out and I had enough of the salted lime, but I had to keep dumping it back in the jar and then sprinkling it back on. So I'm going to just do a full glitter dump here, and I'm going to make sure that the cup is completely covered. Now, after I'm done applying this fine glitter, I am going to let this hang dry. I don't need to put it on a turner. You don't need to put it on a turner if you're applying it this way. Because you're using such little epoxy, it shouldn't be moving around. So you can just hang dry it for however long your epoxy recommends. And you could use your regular set epoxy as well. You don't have to use a fast set. I just use a fast set because it's convenient. And but if you only have your regular set, you can definitely do it this way as well. And then you would just wait longer before applying or moving on to your next step. So you want to make sure that epoxy is, cured and dry basically and not tacky before you move on. So what I'm doing here is I keep going over it a couple of times. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing any spots. I want to make sure I don't have any heavy spots that are getting soaked up. So I'm just going over it. I'm really happy with the way it is. And so once it sits for 2 hours, because that's my dry time, I'm going to give it 2 coats of the Krylon Triple Thick, and that's going to seal that glitter on there so it's not going to move around. Then I'm gonna come in with my parchment paper and I'm gonna smush this glitter down. Yeah, smush it down. That's exactly what I'm doing. I want to flatten this glitter out as much as possible. And this helps with applying the next layer of glitter, in which I'm doing the epoxy method again. And again, I'm going to be coming in with more epoxy this time though. I'm going to be coming in with about 10 mLs. So it's definitely going to be more than the original, and you want a little bit more because you want your glitter to really stick to this cup, because it's a chunky glitter. And I will be putting it on the turner in case there is movement, and I expect that there might be movement. So in this, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So with the glitter being smushed down, I'm applying my epoxy. You can, what I was going to say is you can do this with Mod Podge again, or you can use it with your tacky or your other tacky glue. It's completely up to you. This is how I chose to do it, and I found like I get the best coverage and the best adhesion doing it this way. And again, you could use a fast set epoxy, or you could use... All right, here comes the fun part, adding the chunky glitter. So you're going to find that a lot of chunky glitter is going to fall off. So make sure you've got your catch paper there. And you're just going to do, I'm going to do a full glitter dump. Now, I'm only working with one color because, you know, I want you to not be intimidated by the chunky glitter. And if you start to try to mix the chunky glitters and you're getting a really bad ombre, you're going to get frustrated. So I want you guys, when you're doing this, to just do one color. One color comes out absolutely beautiful. We forget that sometimes less is more. So I did a full glitter dump on this. I'm going to move that aside, and I am going to roll this in parchment paper right away. Now, a little bit's going to stick to the parchment paper, and that's okay. My main goal here is to flatten out what I've put on here. So I'm going to be ginger with it. I'm not going to be really aggressive. I've got it flattened, and now I'm going to come in. I'm going to move that parchment paper, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to again come in and do another coat of this chunky glitter over top. And once I'm done with that, then I'm happy with the coverage. So I don't have any bare spots that I can see once I've got it all done. And I think it looks, I'm really, really happy with it. So I'm just going to pat this down now with my gloved hand. And with the amount of epoxy that's on there, which is important, again, I used about 10 mLs, it's really sticking down. It's really sticking nicely. So I'm going to set this up on my turner. And then when I get it on my turner and it's turning, I'm gonna look. And if I have any pokies, I'm gonna take my glove and I'm just gonna, push all that down. You want nice smooth glitter, because then that's gonna give you a good working surface for when you apply your first coat of epoxy. So I used fast set epoxy, so it was dry enough in 2 hours to go in with my first coat of epoxy. I did not seal this with anything. I did not come in with any Krylon triple thick or anything else, because that glitter was on there pretty good. So I wasn't worried about it moving around and losing a lot of glitter. And that's why a lot of times we seal glitter, is so that we don't lose a lot of it and create bare spots. So I am coming in with a nice good flood coat of 30 mLs on the 16-ounce cup. And the 16-ounce cup is as big as a lot of my 20-ounce cups. This is a pretty big 16-ounce cup. So 30 mLs, because you want to get nice, good, thick coverage over that. I am using my fast set epoxy once again. And then you can see on my glove, there's no there's no glitter on there. So now that I've got my 2 coats of epoxy on there, it's pretty smooth. I want to go ahead and clean up that rim. Make sure, it's sanded down. There's no rough edges. You have that little bit of silver up at the top showing, so that your next coat of epoxy will adhere to it really well. Once you got all that sanded down and you've got your pokies taken care of, go ahead and wipe it with 91% alcohol. If you had to do a really aggressive sanding, you might want to do another coat of epoxy. So I decided to do a Dawn Power Wash on this, and I love the effects of Dawn Power Wash. So it's really simple. You just spray it on, spray whatever color spray paint. In this case, I'm using a matte white over top. And then you're just going to take a cup of water or a hose, or you can even dunk it in a bucket and rinse it off. So I'm really sorry, guys. I didn't record this. I was moving kind of quick. And so after my spray paint dried, I went in and did 1 coat of StarCraft's clear coat, or you could use Crystal Lac clear coat to seal that spray paint in. And I let that turn for 4 hours. It is nice and dry. And now I'm just making sure that I don't have any of that clear coat up at the top. I'm just cleaning the rim. And then it's going to be ready for my tattoo. So I found in my collection this flower tattoo that I really, really liked a lot. It's just black. And I thought it would look just absolutely gorgeous. And so if you're not familiar with applying a tattoo, you make sure, line it up on your cup and place it where you want. And then you're going to go ahead, flip it around, take off that cellophane, but don't take it off until you're done, because once you put it to the cup, it's going to stick there. So you take that protective layer off, line it up, and then press it down, because once you press it down, it's going to stick. And if you try to pull it up, you will ruin your tattoo. Ask me how. How I know this, because I've done it. And I've not done it on purpose. I've done it by accident. So I'm going to take my water and I'm going to spray it, and I am going to just rub it down. And I'm going to start from one side and work my way to the other side. So by the time I get back to the first edge I sprayed, it should be loose enough to start to peel back. So I don't over soak it. I just, get it nice and damp. These tattoos that I have release pretty easily, and they release nicely too on this clear coat that I've got. And so, by the time I got done to one end, it was ready to peel. And just, oh my God, I pulled it back and I was like, oh my God, this is so gorgeous. I absolutely love this. So I'm going to dry it off, let it dry for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to stick it back on. And you know what? I don't feel like dealing with epoxy anymore. So I am going to use my StarCraft clear coat to finish this cup off. And then I'll be ready for my final remarks. All right, guys, she is all done. So I am like really, really happy with the way this came out. So, I kind of was not sure which way I was going with this cup. Once I got the glitter on, I was like, what am I going to do with this cup? And so, power wash is just such a fun way to add something to a cup. And then this tattoo, if you can see the way the glitter comes through, it is so gorgeous. Hello. And good morning, Aria. How are you?
Good.
Good.
I'm going to school today and I'm star student.
She's star student this week. She gets to show off some of her favorite things, like you're going to take your guitar, and she's also going to take your jiu-jitsu medals, right?
Yeah, I have 3 of them. 2 of them are silver and 1 is bronze. I'm also going to take my pink teddy bear.
Your pink teddy, you're taking a lot of stuff to school. That's going to be pretty heavy.
Yeah. I'm going to wear my guitar on my back.
Okay. All right, let me finish this. So to recap on this cup, so I did a coat of fine glitter
Before
first.
I go, make sure to like and subscribe.
Thank you, Aria.
And I'm going to go because I don't want to miss my hot chocolate.
Yeah, right, because we got to get on the bus soon. So to recap on this cup, so the first thing I did was I went in with a fine glitter, and you try to color match your fine glitter, and then you go over, you let that cure, you let that dry, put a coat of epoxy over it, and then immediately adhere your chunky glitter. I rolled it out on parchment paper, and then I went in and I put more of the chunky glitter on there, pat it on with my glove, got it on the turner, took my glove and patted it down and made sure it was nice and flat. And it worked really, really well. This glitter was nice and flattened out. So that was, really flattening this glitter out, and the ways to do it. Parchment paper is really a good way. You can do it with your glove, gloved hand and a glove. But doing the green, the fine glitter under the chunky really gave this cup absolute full coverage. There are no blank spots whatsoever. So if you can find a fine and a chunky match, I recommend that. So, and then, also to talk about, so I did epoxy, but then after I did my power wash, I went over it with a coat of bright, they call it Bright Tone for Crystal, the clear coat by StarCraft. And that gave it, it made it nice and shiny. and it gave it a protective layer over, you know, putting this tattoo on. And then after this tattoo, I put 3 layers of the StarCraft on here, and it is done, and it's beautiful. And I love using the StarCraft over a very flat kind of finished surface, because it's nice and light and you don't have to worry about bubbles. So, you know, you can mix and match the epoxy, like using the epoxy once it's cured, but it's got to be cured then, and then go over it with, you know, if you're using Crystalac Bright Tone, or if you are using StarCraft, their clear coat. So that is it, guys, for this tutorial. Thank you all for watching. Please, you know, like Ari said, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment. All of that stuff helps my channel to grow. And I will see you all next time. Bye.